Hi there, welcome back. My name is Candace and this is what we got going for us today. I've been meaning to record a book haul for like a week or so, but I've been a little bit tired, so haven't done it. But I have lots of books, more so that I got from the library, so I'm going to show those off first. And then I'm going to show off some of the books that I have bought. Not all new releases. Some of them are like preparing me for new releases. So books by authors that just released something, but I didn't want to like pay new book price or yeah. So a lot of these are used. I use thrift books a lot, and then yeah, a lot from the library because again, I wanted to try out some of these authors. So I'll start out with one that I've already read since checking it out, and it's Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. So when this book first came out, I really wanted to read it, but I could not bite the bullet and go ahead and purchase it. I loved it. I think I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I can't remember how I rated it, but this was like exactly what I wanted. It was witchy. It was, you know, like high stakes, but not totally just hard to read. And it was fun. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was very like woman, like powered and everything. So I just really enjoyed this, and I felt like it was written for my generation. So with a lot of the references, even though some of them, because it is out of the UK, some of the references I didn't get, but your girl, I always wanted to be Ginger Spice. So there's a lot of Spice Girl references in this, almost too much, but not too much. So anyway, this was amazing. I went ahead and bought the hardcover of this one and ordered the new sequel to it, which I think is called The Shadow Cabinet. So that should be coming in very soon, I hope, because I definitely want to read the sequel. I enjoyed this so much. So after I read that one, I'm going to just keep an eye out for Juno Dawson and whatever else comes. I don't know if it's going to be just a duology or a full-on series, but I'm down. I'm good. I loved this. It was amazing. So one that I'm currently reading and I've been meaning to get to for a while is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. And I think I'm about a quarter of the way into this. Yeah. It's not what I expected. I knew what the plot was because of the movie that came out, and the plot is very interesting. I just think that the way that it's written and the way that it's structured is making it a little bit harder for me to kind of get into. I feel like there's a lot of I don't know that there's as much show. I don't know. It's like she just puts it out there, like exactly what's happening. You're dropped right into the action, which isn't a problem. It's just, I don't know what it is. There's something about the way that it's structured that's a little bit more difficult for me to just like jump into. But this is fabulous. Like I honestly sped through the first 50 pages, like the first couple parts of it. And then maybe it was just because I was mentally exhausted this past week. Because this was the book that I wanted to try and finish this past week, and I didn't. I've just been so mentally exhausted. So I will pick this back up, and I'm going to make a concerted effort to read like little chunks at a time, and then maybe like binge read something else. But I'm going to try and at least get through. There's like, so the chapters are quite large, but then it's broken down into smaller sections. So I've got 27 more pages in this section. I'm just like, that's just going to be my goal for today. or in this chapter. I'm just gonna try and finish that one, and that'll put me almost halfway. So we'll get through it. It's really, really good. I think I just need to like settle into it a little bit more. So the next one that I checked out is A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. And I want to say that this is similar to another book that I read this month that I bought, The September House, where like adult child comes home, parent is acting strange, spooky things are going on in the house might be haunted. I don't know. I can't remember the synopsis, but I've never read T. Kingfisher, and this is like a little baby of a book. So after I read some of Kindred today, I'm gonna pick this up and see if I can just like charge through this, because I think this should be one that I could finish in like, maybe not one sitting, but within one day, because I have today off. Alrighty, so the next one, We Spread by Ian Reid. I bought Foe because the movie was coming out, and the movie looked, like the trailer for the movie looked amazing. It had Vivarium vibes, or Vivarium, if you've seen that movie. Not that the plot is anything like that, or the themes, it's just, it has like those vibes. And I love Vivarium. So I picked up Foe, and I guess that could be a part of this, but I kind of bought it before I got the other books. And I'm already showing this one. And I liked it, but I didn't love it. It felt a little bit too predictable to me, and but I've heard such good things about Ian Reid. So, and I heard really good things about this book. So I wanted to pick up another book from him before I invest monies into another book from him, which, by the way, I have Foe on my shelf still. I might end up doing like a book versus movie review type thing, but I might have to like scan it again because I've already kind of forgotten a lot of things from it. But that's my fault for having a squirrel brain. But also I do want to give it away to like one of my friends who I think would really, really like it, because it is a good book. I was just like underwhelmed. I don't know. I think because I saw the trailer for the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be crazy. And it was like, it was okay. So that has nothing to do with the book that I'm currently holding in my hands. I can't remember what it's about, but it's another Ian Reid, and I heard good things about it, so I want to read it. So I checked it out from the library instead of spending my money on it again. Okay, so one classic that I got, and I love this cover, this version, and it has an introduction by Guillermo del Toro. If I could pronounce things, that would be great too. But it's Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, which I've never read. And I think I watched the movie. I don't know. I get my haunted house movies confused sometimes, especially ever since the Conjuring and Sinister universe. Like, I don't know. I can't keep them straight anymore. I know that that's completely separate from this, but it all conflates in my brain. Anyway, I've never read this book, and I want to read it so bad because I also want to watch the Netflix series, which is like the weirdest reason to read a book. But it's another one. It's like nice and short. I mean, if I end up loving this, I think I'm going to just get this whole series that has like this artwork and the black edges. So pretty and dark, and I love it. So hopefully I'll actually love what's inside, but we'll see. I'm surprised I've never read this. I don't think I've ever read anything from Shirley Jackson, so I need to read that. Another one that's kind of been like popular and on my radar is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, and Gothic. Is this also a haunted house? I think this is also a haunted house. I am just really in that vibe this Halloween. But yeah, I've heard wonderful things about this. I want to say it was a book of the month book. A lot of the people that I follow on BookTube have loved it and have been talking about it as like, this is a good book to read for spooky season. So I was like, screw it, it's available at my library. Let me go ahead and read it. And Isabel Cañas recently came out with something else too that I wanted to pick up, but I can't remember. But that's why I have a Goodreads app, so that it can remember things for me. And then one more book that is completely different from the rest of this is part of the second book in the Witcher series, The Sword of Destiny. I'm not going to try to pronounce it's the Witcher series. Y'all know the author. Not going to try to pronounce that name. Anyway, I had bought the first one as part of a buddy read. And I read like the first page when I first got it. So I was like, The Witcher, Henry Cavill. I want to watch the show because Henry Cavill. And I read the first page and I was like, wow, I don't think this is for me. But I ended up reading it like all the way through really quickly. I just was in the mood for fantasy. And I like zoomed through it. It was weird. So I liked the story, but I hated certain aspects of it. So, oh my gosh, I'm getting emails like crazy. Sorry, that's pinging in the background. But the way that the women characters are written in the first book, which I can't, what is it called? It's back here. The Last Wish. Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Why does Andres hate women? Like, that's all I can think. So, but I'm going to try and read the second one. I think what I saw online was that the first season of The Witcher is like the first, second, and a little bit of the third book. So, but then also they replaced Henry Cavill, I think, with the guy who cheated on Miley Cyrus. So I don't even know now that I want to start investing into the show, which I heard was like mediocre at best, because he's not even gonna be in it for the rest of the time. Again, has nothing to do with the book that I'm holding. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll try to read this one at some point too. We'll see. Okay, so on to books that I have bought. I feel like there was another one. Oh, so yes, I'll end up having to pop like a picture of it over here. But another book that I had borrowed and already returned was The Vaster Wilds by Lauren Goff. Sorry, it's not in my hand, so I can't remember. But I did a review on that one. I think I ended up giving it 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. Great literary fiction, really, really tough read. It had all of that nature, atmospheric vibes that I was looking for. I have a full-on review, so I'll put a link up in the card or something up there to that, so you can see my full no spoiler review on that one. Solid, good book. Since it was such a new release, I wanted to go ahead, read it, get it back to the library so someone else could pick it up. It was just, I was so surprised that I even found it. I was not expecting to be able to check that one out. And I had seen a lot of good things about that author too, but I'd never read from her. So I definitely wanted to check it out first. So another book, while I'm talking about books that I don't physically have with me, is Nina Simon's Mother-Daughter Murder Night, which was the Reese's book club pick for September. Just kind of underwhelming for me. I have a review for that one too. Again, we'll pop up a link to that. I think I said it was the okayest book that I've read in a while. It just wasn't what I was expecting. There's 3 POVs that we get to look through, but really it's mostly one, and the one POV that we spent most of our time with was the character that I liked the absolute least. So, I mean, like, I don't know, Reese's Book Club picks, that I get it like maybe 50-50 sometimes, and then it's always like the ones that don't get a lot of rave and like popularity are the ones that I'm like, this was fantastic. So yeah, Honor by Thriti Umrigar. Again, probably butchered her name. That was, I want to say, January's pick from last year. One of my favorite books of all time. Anyway, on to books that I physically have. Oh, I donated it to the library because, again, it's like a really popular new book talking about Nina Simon's mother-daughter murder night. Ended up donating it to the library. I figured other people will like it. If they sell it, they sell it. If they let it, people check it out, that's cool too. Just, okay. So, on that note, moving from library borrows to books that I bought. The September House by Carissa Orlando. Oh my God, this was so much fun. Like, it was dark, it was psychological, and it was so sarcastic. And I did a review for this one as well. It came out in early September, and I saw the synopsis and I was like, I want it, I got it, I'm happy with it. So this was one that I bought new. I don't buy new very often, but oh my gosh, this was such a fun read. I really enjoyed it. But go watch my no spoiler review if you want to know more. So this is a book, another little small book. I like smaller books. By Susanna Clark Piranesi. I don't remember what it's about. A lot of people like it. I hear it's got very lyrical, beautiful prose. So we're just gonna vibe with that. And this is a really beautiful version. I believe I got it used. Yeah, I don't know anything else. Sorry. But I feel like people have talked about this enough that I don't need to give a synopsis. Okay. So after just saying that I like really small books, here's a bigger one. But I love it when the pages are like this. I don't know if you can see because I have it on this view, but where they're like kind of not evenly cut. I don't know, that's so wonderful. So I've been wanting to read The Once and Future Witches for a hot minute. Again, like Her Majesty's Royal Coven. This is just like a genre of fiction that I really, really like. And I think this one might be historical too. I love historical fiction fantasy, and there's a lot of really good ones that are coming out right now, including this author's newest book, The Starling House, which I did want to buy new, but I was like, girl, you haven't read from her yet. You don't know yet. So I went ahead and got this one used. God, this thing is heavy. So I'm going to, that is just a black page. Does she do that with like before every chapter? Nope. Okay, don't know why that page is black. Anyway, so I want to read this because I want to read The Starling House. I don't know why I couldn't have just picked up The Starling House, but for whatever reason, yeah, I guess I needed to read this one first, but I did want to read this one real bad. Okay, let's move on. You're not saying anything of use. All right, Shady Hollow by Juno Black. Oh my gosh, this thing looks so cute. So what I know about it is that it's a cozy murder mystery with woodland creatures. And that sounds like an adorably fun time. So, I know I need to read the T. Kingfisher book and literally anything else that I got from the library before I start picking up the books that I bought. But good Lord, I want to read this so bad. So I think that if I finish one library book today, that I'll go ahead and read this or start on The Once and Future Witches. Because I do really want to read the books that I bought. Okay, so the next one is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. Again, bought this, I think I bought this one used, but this is I want to say it's like new release for US, but it came out in the UK first, can't remember. but it's basically, from what I do remember about the synopsis, it's a fantasy about a young woman who kills gods. And it's, I want to say it's in a world where gods and humans are at odds. I don't know. Again, heard great things. Gonna read it. Not too thick. That's kind of my criteria. Okay, so the last one, and really jumping off from the genres that we were talking about, this book is called Birth Canal, and it's a novella by D.S. Novita Worry. And it's, she's an Indonesian author, so this is actually a translated work of contemporary fiction, I want to say. So I'm actually going to read the synopsis of this one because it, like, I feel like people haven't talked about it a lot. I got it as soon as it came out. This is the new version. I am an English major. I read a lot of feminist literature while I was in school. So I definitely wanted to pick this one up because it's been a while since I've read, I think the last like truly hardcore feminist book that I read, I guess besides The Vaster Wilds, but that is also nature literature. But I think the last one that I read that was like really hard-hitting feminist literature was We Who Have Never Known Men, which was amazing. And I think it was also a translated novella. So I'm expecting that I'm really going to love this. So anyway, in today's Jakarta, an unnamed man tells the story of his lifelong friend and unrequited love, Nastiti, and what happened on the day she vanished. In the Dutch East Indies, Semarang, a young Indo-Dutch girl, Rukmini, is captured by the Japanese military and forced into prostitution. Years later, Arini travels to the Netherlands to share her mother's dark past with a researcher. After the American occupation of Japan in World War II ends, a former war photographer revisits his memories of Hanako, the wife of a traumatized ex-imperial soldier, but can't escape his own darkness. And in present-day Osaka, a young Indonesian woman, Dara, haunted by her past and struggling to conceive, becomes obsessed with a Japanese porn star. So it's actually not modern day at all, it seems. I was completely wrong and completely forgot. But it's interwoven stories of these different women. So I'm really, is each chapter, each woman? Yeah, that's what it looks like, I think. Okay, interesting. Anyway, so I really want to have a full day where I just sit down and read this. But I know it's going to be heavy and it's going to like rip apart my brain and my heart. And I have a lot more like fun books that I'm being more pulled to. But I do need to read this. I feel like this is one that I cannot wait to read, and I will be reviewing when I read it. Okay, so the last book that I have that I bought is nonfiction and work related. So if you don't care about that, have a nice day. Leave a comment and or like, or a dislike. That's fine too. That's cool. Yeah, and have a great day. Okay, now if you still care about my nonfiction work-related book, this is Everybody Writes. This is the second edition by Anne Hanley, and it's basically just good advice for creating written content. I have a coworker slash friend of mine who had gotten this from the library, and her and I have been working on redoing some of our standards for our email alerts at work, and have been doing a lot of research. And she had checked out the first version of this book from the library, and I was like, and she was sending us like little snippets, like her notes from each little section that she read each morning, and I was like, this looks really, really good. And the book is broken up into like more, digestible sections based on the different advice. So if you can see that, I'm not sure if it's gonna come into focus or not. And they're just like a couple of pages long each. So yeah, this one is just like 4 pages and it's got plenty of space. So but it's like, it's really tangible sorts of writing advice. And especially as someone who did her public affairs training back in 2008. Yes. And then some follow-up training in 2009, 2010. I needed a solid refresher, and we've been doing that, but at the same time, this has been amazing. So that is everything that I bought and borrowed. It's quite a bit. So I'm going to try and get through some of this library stack so that I can get these books back so that other people can enjoy them. And I've noticed it has gotten considerably darker since I started recording, and I apologize for that. And hopefully I'll be able to get some more book reviews out. I just don't know if I will have very many more new books to review. And those typically do, like, people do typically like those more. But I do have Foe, and since the movie's coming out soon, I'll probably do a side-by-side. Anyway, that is it. So if you did stick by and you didn't hear me before, please comment, like, dislike, whatever. Let me know what you're reading. If you've read any of these, let me know what you think about them, but do not spoil them. Like, come on, don't be a bitch. That was probably a bit too intense. Sorry. No one watches these videos that long anyway, so it's fine. But I do hope that you have a great day and that your week is fantastic and that you don't regret anything and that you have whatever it is that you are currently craving as far as food goes. I'm 35 weeks pregnant and I have gestational diabetes, so all I think about is food right now and snacks and cakes and cookies. So as soon as this little bundle of joy is birthed, I found out about red velvet tres leche cakes this morning. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna eat that. It's gonna be so good. But yeah, have a great day. Bye.